What's up, guys? Nate with Famous Racing Customs here. Sorry it's a little noisy right now. I got my air conditioner going and it's right there. So I'll just have to talk a little bit louder. So again, I apologize. So this is going to be an update on the Monaco slash a how-to kind of video, because I did the original how-to and went way off subject for about 30 minutes. So hopefully now I'll be able to concentrate. So it's going to be an update, a how-to, and a little bit of I had a little Hobby Lobby trip yesterday. So so let's get a going. So here's the Monaco as it sits right now. Suspension is fully done. Sits in there quite nice. I still have to finish up the engine, but I did get the engine wired. Again, I just had to super glue it in place, and yeah, so it'll be a little bit of detail painting and hoping I don't screw that up. But there it is in place. I did check the fit to make sure everything was going to be okay. The interior tub, it's yeah, well, it doesn't fit entirely too well, but once you get it in the body, everything sits in there just fine. So I don't know what happens there. As you can see, the hood is no longer purple. It actually all came off pretty well. What I had done was I had, because I had it all mocked up, so I had the body on it, and I needed to cut the hole for the blower. So it sits about like so, you know. So basically what I did was, because I couldn't find any of my rulers, I used a piece of cardboard, put it at the edge of the opening, and got it to where I was comfortable with it. So something, you know, like that, and then I marked the spot. Transferred it over to the hood all the way around. Then I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna have a hell of a time sanding this thing, but whatever. So I took my pin vise, and started drilling in the corners for my guide, and I turned it over, and as you can see there's where the pin vise went through, and it actually lifted the paint. So what I did was I carefully took my crappy hoppy knife. It's fairly dull. I use this just to kind of score along, but I don't really use it to cut too much. And I carefully just picked at it and pulled it away. So the primer's still there. I do need to sand it and reprime it and get it all painted up so I can fit it on there. The reason why the body's not on there now, so I can show you how well it fits, is because if you look on the bottom of the hood here, focus. Let's try that one more time. Let's try that one more time. No, I want that focus. Okay, anyways, let's do that. Alright. I've cut off the alignment pegs because it didn't align well. This body has some issues up on this beam here. Oops, and I just got super glue all over myself. Basically, I'm super gluing my hinge in. That's part of my Hobby Lobby haul, is I got musical wire and aluminum tubing that was a lot smaller, because what I was using was way too big. So for my aluminum tube, I'm using... Why would you do that? number 5100 1/16 aluminum tube. Um, you get this obviously at Hobby Lobby. And then for my music wire, which fits perfectly in it, but is quite a pain in the ass to bend, is the 0.03, so it's 1/32 wire, 5501, and like I said, it is a pain in the butt to bend because it's music wire and it just bends back, you know. You can see how far that I'm bending it, like that, and it just goes right back to being perfectly straight. So if you're going to use music wire, be prepared. I used a pair of these because I couldn't find my needle nose, and I also used these, and used them actually together to bend and solidify, and use the end of both of them to kind of hammer and make sure everything was as square as I could possibly get it. Like I said, it is a pain in the ass to work with. Yeah. So now on to the how-to, which was my my pulley setup, and this is, I guess, more or less for well, I mean, it's for everybody, anybody who wants to give it a go. If you're wanting to try to make a little bit more realistic look. So really, what you're gonna need to make the pulleys is you're gonna obviously need your engine pulleys. They have the belt already attached to them. I use sprue trees because sometimes you can get like really fat pieces that work really well with, like, say, your your crank pulley. You will need your file. I'm still kind of learning, so I'm actually kind of trying to come up with a setup to chuck this into like a multi-speed Dremel tool, so it'll spin. Obviously you're going to need your knives, your saws, and sanding paper. And then basically, like, what I do is I figure out how the setup's going to be, which this is only my second one. The first one was a straight drag setup where it was the crank pulley, the blower pulley, and then I had to make, for the tensioner pulley, I had to make something for that. Luckily with this engine here, because I used the Dodge water pump I modified the Chevy block to accept the Dodge water pump. It comes with a way for me to glue the alternator in place. So then basically what I do is I just glue the pieces of sprue to length or whatever. This is just for demonstration purposes. I will carefully file around and make a groove most of the time. And then the medical tape, I mean, it's just your standard medical tape. You can get it at any pharmacy, drugstore, whatever you want to call it, and it looks kind of like that. And then I just use a permanent marker to make it black, and then you wrap it around. You figure out how you want it to route. And I just thought, like with my truck uses a serpentine belt, So I looked at it and kind of figured out how it would wrap around and everything like that, and so that's what I came up with. Um, so I mean, it's really quite easy. You know, you just have to be willing. You know, I have a, you know, if you have like the custom setups, like well, or if you do something like what I did, like with my Willis pickup, where I kit bashed with the 41 Willis coupe, and I had extra, um, I have extra fan belts and everything, kind of just hanging around. If it comes with two motors, you know, things like that. So basically, you just glue it on. You know, you cut it off of the belt, um, sand it. Um, um, oh, you're also going. I guess you're going to need your pin vise. This is something that I suggest. You have your pin vise, which mine looks a little dirty right now. Sorry. Um, because I figured that it helps keep everything centered if you drill a hole in the center and pop in a pin, and then that way it'll go into the existing holes on the engine, and you just super glue them in place. Once you have them painted, you have, you know, you've done your filing, your sanding, you got your groove the way you want it, paint it, and then you just kind of glue the pieces to where they need to go, and then you very carefully run your medical tape the way you want it to run around. Always go way long, you know. I mean, I think the medical tape is not too expensive. I get it cheaper because I work for a pharmacy, so I get a little bit off. Um, so yeah, then you just cut your strand, wrap it around, and well, I color it before I wrap it around, because anything like up here where it's coming off, I can touch that up. That's not a problem. So yeah, that's pretty simple for me. Um, I hope that was clear and clear enough for everybody. But you know, it's not that hard. You take a little piece of sprue, glue it on. You know, it's not too hard to figure out. Too bad. The other part of my Hobby Lobby haul is I finally picked up one of these, and I've been waiting to get this for a while. This one right here, I'm going to pick up a few more of these because I have some wicked ideas for this truck. It's just going to take me some time. But I am going to pick up a few of these, a few more of the 65 Chevys. So I'm going to make this one. This one here is just going to be box stock for right now. And I'm sure anybody who's opened it up or watched like Rick Arter's reviews, you know, you guys should already know what it looks like inside. But I'm going to build this one box stock, and then I'm going to have one that's a single cab that's lowered. Build another one that's going to be a quad cab lowered. You know, I've got some, just the ideas are flowing, and it's really easy to make them. I just couldn't afford this time to buy two of them and the 65 that it's going to donate a lot of the chassis parts from. So I decided I'm just going to build this one box stock. It will be 4-wheel drive. You know, I'm not going to raise it, not going to lower it. I mean, I'll put my own like little custom details. Like the engine, I don't like the intake setup on the engine, so I'll use my own. I still got the engine for that. So yeah, that's gonna be it. So like I said, I hope that my how-to kind of was clear enough for you, and you know, you guys are able to do the medical tape belts. And the idea I got from the medical tape belt is actually from, I just had it. I looked at it, made sure, looked at everything, Sorry, I'm getting way too close with my face. Um, and I just got the idea just by looking at this art, looking at this Scale Auto. It's the Funny Car one. It's a few months old. So it's volume 35, issue 2. Oh, there we go. August 2013. So they do these one big, which I'm going to start pulling these out very carefully and probably framing them because I think they're really cool and I think they would make you know, my wall look better. So with this one, I was just kind of looking around and it's like, oh, you know, it tells you like all the little tricks that they did, you know, photo etch bolt heads, to me a bright red. So I mean, if you wanted to make a carbon copy of this car here, you know, this is what you would have to do. A thin rope for a shoot cord, you know, stuff like that. And so I was looking at the engine, and of course, you know, it's 0.012 inch spark plug wires, coiled magnet wire for throttle spring return, and then medical tape belt. And I was looking at it, and I was like, you know what? I think I have something like that. So I looked at it, and I just came up with my pulley system, just using what I had because, you know, I don't have a lot of money to take care of, to buy specialized items like that. I really wish I could. I think I would, you know, I think my skill would be much greater if I could, you know, afford to get all the photo etch stuff and the styrene tubes and sheets and stuff like that. You know, to say like build my own custom chassis for my trucks and stuff like that. I am gonna try to get into resin casting, but it'll be small things like engines. I'll just be making copies probably of my engines, so that way if I want, you know, a Hemi or whatever, I'll have a mold for it and I just cast it when I need it. I might get into molding in bodies and things of that sort. But for right now, I mean, really, right now I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of anything other than working what I got. I mean, the casting kits are expensive. I found like the cheapest one that would work for me is like $60. That's a lot of money. And yeah, you know, so it won't be happening right away, but basically, like I said, you know, if I have the stuff like the styrene and the photo etch parts, I think I could come up with a lot cleaner looking models. One of my biggest, I'd say my biggest flaws is sometimes I don't think things all the way through 100%, or my detailing's just a tiny bit off. I've been getting better with not getting on myself so badly about it, because, I mean, it's not like I'm building show quality vehicles. Although I think some of you have mentioned that, you know, they could be, and I appreciate that. But I don't know. I think it's just too much stress for me to try to come up with these perfect ideas and then have somebody contribute. I forgot the word. Critique critique what I was doing, like, oh, this is a Chevy motor, and you've got a Dodge, and then you've got the distributor still at the back, and it should be up front, and da 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 da. And I would just say, you know what, dude, I just built a car that I wanted to build, and I made it work. You know, you don't like it, move the fuck on, you know? But I mean, I do enjoy it. I do love cars to such a fault that I spend probably way too much money on this hobby as it is, and but you know, for me, it's worth it. It helps me stay calm, and I've made some pretty great friends out of it. Big Boonsky, Dr. Cranky, Dave Parker, Andy X, Rick Carter. You know, there's great people out there that are in this hobby, and they spend way more money than I do. But you know, I think we all have the same kind of mission in life, which is, you know, it's just a hobby for us. You know, some of us show, some of us don't. This is the closest that my vehicles get to being shown. And now, you know, with the Google Plus thing and the Styrene Syndicate, there's a lot of guys doing there, and it's not just model cars, it's model anything. Planes, Star Trek, figures, I mean, you name it, there's somebody on Styrene Syndicate doing it, so, and it's pretty cool. So, anyways, now I've gone too long. It's 21 minutes and 50 seconds. I'm going to get this video uploaded, and I got to get some pictures taken care of so I can get that loaded up on my Google Plus. Any of you guys that can't find me under my name here, Famous Racing Customs, it's because Google Plus is stupid. It won't let me use that one, even though that's what I want to use. I don't want to use my real name, but whatever. The real name on there is going to be Nathan Ihle, I-H-L-E. You can look me up on Google Plus. I do post pictures because it's easier, and I post a little bit more often than I do upload videos. So if you guys want to find me there, you guys have the name. So with that, this is Nate, Famous Racing Customs, and I will see you guys in the next video.